What is up, everybody? We are back today and we are going to be talking about what is overlanding and is it for you? So stay tuned. So what is overlanding? Overlanding is actually something new to the United States. It's actually been around for probably about a decade or more in Australia where it originated, where people would take their vehicles and they would go off-roading and camping all in one, and they would infuse it together. And that's what overlanding is. Overlanding is about taking your vehicle and going to remote locations that you otherwise wouldn't be able to usually do with just the traditional vehicle. It depends on how aggressive you want to get and how far out you need to go. Will all depend on the overlanding rig that you'll need to build or either purchase from one of the companies out there. Going out to the Moab Desert and some of the other remote locations on the West Coast, and like what we're getting ready to do in a few days, out to the Outer Banks, out to Portsmouth Island to do some beach camping. That's all it is basically jumping in your vehicle, depending on how advanced your rig is and what it can. Also depends on your rig, and it also depends on how much you want to take in and put into this. Because this is a hobby. It's more of a, it's kind of a hobbyist that have taken the car enthusiast to the whole next level as far as off-roaders that enjoy building off-road rigs and going and camping and doing that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Is overlanding right for you? So overlanding isn't for everybody. So what overlanding is that you're really going to have to worry about is you're going to be going off-site, off the beaten path, onto some secluded areas, and you're basically going to be taking in all the wilderness. You're going to be taking in all the creatures. You're going to be taking in all the beauty of it. You're going to be taking in the heat, the extreme temperatures that you can withstand in some of these areas, and that's kind of what it is. For more outdoorsy people, like I'm kind of grew up on this. You know, when I was a kid, we went to Rifle River a lot, and that was a secluded area up in Michigan. It was really great. You know, I have a lot of memories from that. But I'm kind of branching off now and taking that whole scenario where, you know, that was kind of overland camping, but we stayed in a cabin. But you know, we had a tent also is there too, where we could actually tent camp. So you basically are taking the whole off-road scene and adding camping to it and just combining it together. That's all overlanding is. But with that comes the dangers and some of the other things out there. So when you start looking at overlanding, you also got to think, you know, you're going to be secluded where you're not going to have a lot of communication with the outside world. You won't probably have cell phone service. So you got to take into account some of those amenities that you tend to take advantage of today, you might not have in those areas. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the different things that you would need in order to make this trip and make it enjoyable, because that's what it is. It's all about just going out and having fun and just making the best out of it. So like for us, we've got Stargazer here that we have been building up for the last few weeks, getting ready for the vacation. We have the Rough Country front bumper guard on, bullnose on it. Sorry. We got the Rough Country lights. We've also got some Rough Country pod lights. We've got the awning. We've got the rooftop tent. We're pretty much ready to go. We have some stuff on here that typically, if you're just wanting to go overland camping and just to see if you're really into it, you really just want to start with something simple. That's the next thing we're going to bring up. We're going to bring up is overlanding right for you? If you've never tried it, keep it simple. And that's a whole saying of KISS. Keep it stupid simple, because you don't want to be dumping thousands of dollars into this and make this where you go into debt just trying to make this work and find out later on you just wasted $10,000 to $15,000 on a whole bunch of gear, and then all of a sudden you don't like it and it's not for you. You can go overland camping with what you currently have if you guys already go camping. You know, just pack up your car, go find a remote location on a trail somewhere where you guys can handle that with your vehicle. And usually, like the flat trails or some of the other ones out there, just a simple trail, you guys can start with what you guys have now if you guys are already camping. So overlanding is nothing different about it, besides a lot of the glamour people out there will go and post about this and say you need to buy this, you need to buy that. My recommendation is start simple. Keep it simple. Don't go spend thousands of dollars on something if you don't need to. Now, later on, if you've done some adventures and you've gone out and you find that you like this lifestyle and you're ready to go, I'm all for it. Make sure it fits your budget, and that's where we're going to be talking about some of the stuff as far as budgeting for this. Make sure that you got that it fits inside your budget and you guys stay inside your budget. Also, making sure you guys have the right type of equipment as far as what you're looking to go overland and the different destinations that you're looking to go. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff I wrote down so that I can kind of keep track with you guys on this as far as what I think you guys should be focused on if you're looking to get into overland camping. So first off, plan a budget on what you want to spend. Like I said, you don't want to be going over budget, spending thousands of dollars on something that you really don't need or really don't want later on, and find out that it's not going to be something that you like. So make sure you guys plan a budget for what you guys want to be doing for this, and then stay within that budget. Now, if you guys find out you guys want to expand this, then I would also have a sit down. If you're doing this as a couple, like my wife and I and our kids, then we'd sit down and we'd actually couple in some more money in as far as building this out, and that's what we kind of did with the rooftop tent and some other stuff where we wanted to actually go travel. So budgeting, make sure you do that. Next thing you're going to need a reliable vehicle. Even though the vehicle you have now, if it's your daily driver, I don't recommend you guys taking your daily driver and going off-roading with it and go Bajaing with it. I don't recommend that. But in the event that you guys want to, that's your call. But that's where you just start with what you have. You can do some simple trails out there. There's some 2-track trails out there where they're very simple, very, very flat, very smooth. You can go find them all over YouTube, so if you want to hit that up, go check that kind of stuff out. So next thing is going to be, you want some sort of cover. We got the rooftop tent here, but we also have a base camp tent, which is actually a ground tent that goes right into the ground. You want to make sure you're plenty well covered, and the reason for that is you're going to be in some extreme heat or cold, depending on which type of year and where you're going to. You want to make sure that you're covered from it, but also you want to make sure that you're covered from some of the critters and some of the other stuff that you're going to be out encountering with this. Now, there's going to be some of you guys that are hardcore and say, we don't need that. That's your guys' call. But for us, my wife, she's not really a camper, so I'm hoping if we get her up in the rooftop tent, that gets her off the ground a little bit, she can enjoy that. The kids are still a little bit young, so we bought the ground tent for them to kind of enjoy and have a little bit of their own space. So cover. So next thing you're going to need, you're definitely going to need water. Make sure you guys pack plenty of water, because depending on your destination, you might not have it. Whether you need to wash your hands or whether you need to hydrate or whatever, make sure you got plenty of water with you. They have all sorts of cool little kits out there where you can pack water on a sling, where you basically just put it over your shoulder. You can do some hiking with it, or you can buy bottled water from Walmart or some of the other grocery stores, Amazon, wherever you get your water from. 5-gallon jugs of water. They have a cool little kits that go right on top of there to basically push a button and dispenses water out into cups. So that's all stuff that we're going to be showing you that we bought for this right here. So water, and then food. Make sure you take some nutritional food, because you guys don't want to be eating a whole bunch of junk food. And I don't know, maybe you do, but some of the simple things out there is just nutritional snack bars, that kind of stuff, depending on how long you're going to be out and doing this. And then some simple PB&Js if you can. If you're not allergic to peanut butter and you're allowed to have that kind of stuff, then go have that. You know, keep it simple as far as the meals when you first start getting going, because you don't want to be taking a whole spread of meats and veggies in out there and trying to cook up a whole meal and everything, and find out later on you don't really like cooking in the outdoors and everything else, and because it's a whole nother challenge once you start cooking in the outdoors. I've done it a few times with my uncle and my dad, so that's how I know a little bit about this. That's kind of why I'm going full bore with this, because I already know with some of the stuff that's going to entail. Some of it I don't, but hey, that's the adventure part. That's what we're in this for. We're going to go and have some fun, and we're going to see what we can seek out there. So, next thing, first aid kit. Make sure you guys have some sort of first aid kit in your vehicle, or even have a couple of them. If you don't want to be out in a secluded area, something happened, and you not have some sort of bandages or some sort of gauze or band-aids or something to clean your wounds with if something does happen. So just make sure you guys get some sort of first aid kit out there. You can get them pretty small now. They come in little size cases, and you can put them in your backpacks and stuff when you do hiking and all that kind of stuff. So next, some sort of lighting. So if you're going to be staying the night like us on a beach, you're going to be going away, and you're going to be in these secluded areas where you're not going to have the traditional city lights. That's what a lot of people forget about, is you're going to be going away from this stuff, and that's kind of why I've got lights all set up on this here. We got the amber lights to help cut through some of the dust and some of the other stuff to go down some of the dusty roads and sandy roads. Plus, you also want lights for emergencies. You break down on the side of the road or something while you're trailing at night, or you're doing something else. You want to be able to fix your rig to get it off the trail and get to a safe spot. So make sure you guys have plenty of lighting. They have all sorts of cool headbands that you can buy. They have different LED light bars you can buy for the front here, emergency lights, basic flashlights from Walmart. That all works. So there's all the variety out there is just all out there. So just go find what you're looking for. And like I said, keep it simple. If you're not into this, don't know if you're going to be liking it or not, keep it cheap and simple. So, and then the last thing is just a go-to attitude. You know, a lot of people, they sit there. This is going to be hard work. You know, overlanding, it's not hard work, but it's hard work. A lot of people are going to look at it and be like, man, you gotta pull the cover off, you gotta open it up, you gotta put the bars on, you gotta get it all set up, or you gotta put up the base tent. You're going to have a lot of obstacles out there that you're going to have to go and overcome, but if you're looking for adventure, that's what it is. It's about going out there and going and finding the areas that most people don't travel to. You know, everybody I talk to has never ever heard of Portsmouth Island, and until I started talking about some of this stuff and we started realizing that's where we want to go. It's cool. It's got a little ghost town that's been deserted since the 70s there. You know, it's kind of got some back history we'll be talking about on this trip and going through with. So, yeah, like I'm getting excited. So, hoping you guys like this video so far. If you do, make sure you smash that like button. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe. We will be posting out more videos later on about this rig here and a walk around and some of the equipment that we use and doing some product review and all that kind of stuff that we're working towards. So, yeah. One of the other things too, I didn't have it on the list, but I was just thinking about it. Communication is a big thing if you're going to remote areas. So communication for us is going to be a huge thing because we're going to be on an island. We won't be able to. I don't know how the cell service is. According to when I was looking at Verizon and AT&T, they have some service out there. The Broncos got built-in AT&T internet service. I got Verizon, so we kind of got the best of both worlds to be able to have some sort of internet provider to be able to communicate back to the mainland and do what we need to. But in this right here, we got the Midland MTX 115 GMRS radio. And what that is, it requires a special license. It doesn't require a ham license. It's a step down from a ham license, which is becoming a big thing for some of the overlanders out there right now. Is you can purchase this radio. The license is like $70 for 10 years. You take a test online as far as some safety and some other stuff that you have to do. I'm sorry, you don't have to take a test. They ask you a couple questions on some of that stuff, and then you basically pay the $70. And it's not really a test. It's just kind of just to make sure that you know what you're doing as far as not to be using it and not to be an idiot with it. So, yeah. Make sure you look into a radio though. The GMRS radio is actually a step down from the ham radio. That one there is going to be a great radio for us. I've been doing some testing here and playing around with it. It's got about a 50-mile range with no obstructions. So we should be able to easily, about 3.5 miles in, get to somebody from the mainland in the case of an emergency and we need to radio somebody in. It's also got the weather band on there so we can keep track of any weather coming in and listening to that and kind of keep a track of some of that stuff. Like I said, we're gonna be secluded on an island. where basically nobody's going to be there. I think there's some park rangers there, but I think that's about it. They're going to have some quads and stuff like that, and they might have a way to radio somebody in and some communications, but we're going to be basically be out there on our own. So that's what we're looking forward to. Something different that we've never done before, and I think we're going to have a great time doing this. So if that all sounds interesting, go out and just do it. Just go have some fun. You know, I can't stress that enough. Before you start soaking a whole bunch of money into this venture, make sure you guys go and see if this is going to fit for you. Because if it does, the next thing we're going to talk about is equipment. You know, the next thing is, if you enjoy this and you want to start expanding this out and you want to go further distances, and like this here, we're going to definitely have to lift this up a little bit. We got the rough country 1.5 inch. It's just a block lift. That's just going to lift it up just a little bit, so we can put a little bit knobbier tire onto it, a little bit more aggressive, so that we can go and go into a little bit muddier situations and a little bit more off trail. That was weird. The camera just kind of weirded out. So we can go a little bit more off trail to go do what we want to do, but with that is cost. So that's again why I told you, if you're not going to like this, don't go run out and buy a whole bunch of equipment that you're not going to need. With that, it's going to cost us probably about $1,000 once it's all said and done for just the tires and the lift kit and everything, and that's me doing all my own work to the vehicle. So if you're looking to go further distances, more remote locations, you definitely want to look for a good rig. You want to make sure you got a good 4x4. You want to make sure it can go different places. You want to make sure it's built with the intentions of off-road use. Some of the all-wheel drive vehicles and stuff out there, some of the crossovers, I know a lot of people are going to call this a crossover and say that the Bronco is not going to ever be able to be comparable to the Jeep and whatever. I don't really care. That's your guys' opinion. From some of the videos I've been seeing on some of the baby Broncos, we're calling them, they're holding their feet. So I'm proud of her. I love this thing to death. I can't wait until I can get one of the full-size Broncos so we can match this up with a baby Bronco and a full-size Bronco, so we can definitely expand our horizons and go further distances. So that's what our goal is we look to get another vehicle so that we can have 2 rooftop tents. This one here, just because of how big the back is and that kind of stuff, we've been looking at trailers to either build out or put onto there. So that's kind of why I talked about the equipment that you're going to need to be able to do overland camping, and that's where you have to have a budget goal in place as far as what you're going to be needing to save for, what you're going to need to be spending, all that kind of stuff. And then you got to also budget into there the unexpected to make sure that you guys have the extra money just in case something does happen. So then if you're just wanting to do the 2-track stuff or stay on smoother trails, not really go off-road too much, but it is off-road because they're not really technically roads, then you guys want to more invest into sleeping areas in your back. You know, a lot of people, they go and gut the from the front seats back, they'll gut them. And Goose Gear and some other companies out there have some great equipment that interlock to each other, and some people build custom equipment. Cars driving by. They build some custom equipment where you can basically build a little sleeping quarters there, a little kitchen, all slides out, refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the next thing, is we're going to be talking about all the stuff we're putting into this, and some of the things you guys as overlanders is what you guys want to do. You know, the world is out there for you guys to go explore and have fun, and nothing's stopping you guys besides just going and doing it. You know, if something's stopping you, you have the ability to set a goal. You have the ability to drive that goal and push yourself to that, and that's what my goal is for this. You know, I see you guys all the time, all the big YouTubers out there going out, and they're going and exploring, and that's the kind of stuff I want to do. I love that lifestyle. I think we're gonna have a great time doing this kind of stuff. But also, we do have the side where we do love some luxury and not always have to go overland camping. So that's where we want to, one of our goals later on down the road is to purchase a bus and redo that, gut it, redo the inside of it. That's more of a glamping section where we can just pull in. We have our own home away from home, have our own shower, comfort, air conditioning, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of takes away from the overlanding and goes to a whole separate direction, which we'll we're working towards that. That's kind of why we're trying to build the channel up, is we want to do some of these adventures with you guys. So some of the other things I want to talk about is focus on what you want to do. You know, the overlanding, where do you want to go? What do you want to see? How are you going to get there is all part of that. But then also you want to talk about, or we want to talk about, what's going to be the biggest obstacle for you to get there. Take a second to think about that. Once you have that goal and set, then figure out what all the obstacles are that's going to stop you from getting to that. Then start removing those. Once you get to that point of removing all those obstacles, it's an easy breezy just to go do what you want to do. You know, I'm looking forward to this. You know, our biggest obstacle, you guys see in other videos, I've been all over. You know, I've tried to make everything work with this. I've tried to do different things. I try to do different things with the channel. You know, I've been all over. I know I've been up, down, left, right, sideways, backwards. I've been all over. You guys seen all sorts of unfinished projects I haven't finished up. This one's going to be different. You know, we have the Bronco now. We have this that we're finishing up, and we are getting ready for overland camping. Like I said, we're leaving in 2 days. 2 days to go down. Oh, we're actually heading to New York first. Then we're heading to Washington, D.C. to go do some sightseeing. We're going to be staying in the hotel for a few nights. And then the overland camping is what I'm looking forward to. I know all the kids, when I've been showing some of the videos to them, they've all been looking forward to that too. So let's just do it. Like, let's just go have fun. You know, I hope you guys follow this channel. I hope you guys follow where we go with this as far as the adventures and the different things that we're going to be doing, because it's going to be a fun ride. You know, once we start getting some of this stuff dialed in, and we start actually doing the overland camping, and we start dialing in our own little niche as far as how we want to do it and what we need to do to be successful at this and just have fun with it, then we're just going to be to the next level. We're going to be able to go and take it up to the next level, and I'll be able to start working on heavier duty suspension, and I'll be looking at building a custom trailer that'll be able to go off-roading with oculating trailer hitch so that it kind of goes over the rocks. And I've been doing some research on all that kind of stuff because we want more space. You know, we want to be able to take all of our kids, because I hope you guys like this video. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get up-to-date information as far as when I post a video and all of our adventures that we're going to be hitting up. I'm Kenny Ayersman. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace.